Anybody did not get one? So the flyer you received in the cemetery.
Hey, welcome to anybody who's here live on Facebook right now. We are at the Washington Soldiers Home in Orting, Washington, where they are going to dedicate that, you can see it right between these two folks right here, right there, a new monument to the 4 recipients of the Medal of Honor who are resting here in Orting, Washington. Now, if you missed this event, don't worry, I will post it to YouTube later. But as you can see, the attendance is actually doing really well. And the gentleman you see there in the green beret is Master Sergeant Earl Plumley, who is the keynote speaker and Medal of Honor recipient himself. So in the next few minutes, they are going to get started. Go ahead and ask any questions if you have them, and I'll do my best to answer them for you.
Anybody wants a seat? There are seats available.
He's asking about the veterans if they want to take a seat. Anybody realize we're following that? So you can see the Medal of Honor monument is veiled right now. I will walk over there when they get ready to unveil it. But this is the Washington Soldiers Home Cemetery here in Orting, Washington. See, we actually have a really wonderful turnout for this event. It's pretty amazing. Again, they're honoring the 4 Medal of Honor recipients buried in in this cemetery. As you can see, Master Sergeant Plumley is here. Got to meet him. I'll post that picture later. Really cool guy. But they are going to start here in the next few minutes. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, if you have questions, please ask them. I'll say them as loud as I can in the comments. Let me know, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
I'm trying to figure out is, I know little history. Brown boots are what the American Army wore from, I don't know, up to World War II. Well, how is it wearing brown boots?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if we have your attention.
All right.
So, today's a culmination of 3 years of work. A lot of people here present, and more importantly, to hear the honors of veterans. At this time, I'd like to bring up my former pastor of 25 years, Thomas Powell, for the invocation. Gentlemen, hats.
Father, we're thankful that we have the opportunity and the privilege to recognize and memorialize the lives of those who have served and sacrificed to provide us the freedoms that we're expressing here today. And those that serve today in many capacities of our society to protect and even to procure the freedoms that we have. And Lord, we take time to remember and with a full and grateful heart that have been a part of all that we celebrate here today. We ask these things in Jesus Christ.
So, some people I'd like to recognize today. Primarily our guest speaker, Master Sergeant Earl Plumley, a law recipient. You know, it's when he's from your alma mater, it's kind of hard not to forget. But Earl's a very gracious man that attends and does a lot in public, and he wouldn't be anything without his wife giving him directions and keeping him on time. So I'm sure many of you husbands can understand. I'd also like to recognize Chris Gelden is not here. Conflicting from the 25th District, Kelly Chambers from 25th, Cindy Jacobson. These are some of the people that helped get Second District Senator Jim McCune, J.T. Wilcox, Representative Andrew Barkus, and we have Pierce County members Dave Morrell, Paul Herrera, who's also the state commander for the VFW, Amy Kruger, where's she at? Don't let her escape. Without her help, I mean, you know, when you need a strong back and somebody to get it through, Amy's the person I depend on and have for a number of years. Josh Penner, again, Josh, and there's a project we may be working on up the road here for another Medal of Honor recipient. Alfie Alrado, Alfie, where you at? She's the head of the WDVA, director. So this is her cemetery. Nothing gets done within the Washington DVA without her. Heidi Audette. Heidi, where you at? Raise your hand, don't escape. So she's been my business housewife on this thing. So, you know, I was joking with somebody else, you know, my phone rings, it says pest on it. Alec Burkheimer, who is a construction and projects engineer for the WDVA. Dennis Juarez, where you at, Dennis? He's hiding out here. Anyway, Dennis is he's the facility manager, so he takes care of the cemetery, makes sure it's, you know, clean and whatnot. Rudy Lopez, the cemetery director. So a lot of the guys who are congressional representatives know this is one of the 3 state-funded cemeteries in the state of Washington. And one of the things is you, the voters, need to keep them reminding that we need to take care of the veterans, we need to take care of the cemetery. Robert Pence. Robert, where you at? He's the Washington State Soldiers Home Administrator, and he's going to give you some quick words.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am Robert Pence, the administrator for the Soldiers Home right down the hill, and also try my best to help take care of this wonderful cemetery. And first, I want to thank you all for coming to be a part of this magnificent ceremony to honor our Soldiers Home Cemetery, the Medal of Honor recipients, and by dedicating this beautiful Medal of Honor memorial. As we honor and recognize these brave men who, at the risk of life, went above and beyond the call of duty, let them serve as beacons to all Americans. Our Soldiers Home has served thousands of veterans since opening in 1891, each with their own story to tell. And believe me, I've heard a lot of them. I want to sincerely thank Kenneth Garcia and the VFW Post 224 and all the private contributors who made sure that the story of our 4 Medal of Honor recipients will be told to everyone who visits our grounds. It is events like this that reminds me how grateful I am to all veterans and thankful for the experiences, the stories, and the great men and women here at the Soldiers Home. It was them that taught me truly what it means for someone to be a veteran, to serve their country, to have honor, duty, a commitment to each other. I learned a lot here over the last 5 years, and I've had no greater sense of belonging and a feeling of what I am doing is right. It is something that I will take with me for the rest of my life as I continue serving those who serve. I would also like to thank all the organizations, families, community members that help support our veterans. It is this collaboration that makes it such a supportive and healing environment, not only for my Soldiers Home veterans, but for all veterans. They may be residents, staff, they may live on the campus or in the community, they're volunteer, the list keeps on going. But it's this coming together of everyone that makes this so great. And lastly, I want to thank you all for allowing me to be just a small part of something so wonderful. So, thank you.
Thank you, Robert. So, unfortunately, Post Commander from Post 2224, y'all, VFW, does a lot in the community. Those of you who are members, those of you in the community know that. Tom Repass has, unfortunately he's working today, but again, not only your District 2 County Council member, but the State Commander Paul Herrera, and I'm going to have him speak.
veterans, elected officials, and citizens of this great country in Washington State. I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to Ken Garcia for getting this going. I consider it an honor to be in the presence of those with such dedication, commitment to supporting this project and getting it done. You know, immortal deeds and immortal words were created on the many battlefields of the Civil War. And those places where it was fought are shrines of patriotism. This place, the Orting Soldier Cemetery, is also a shrine that is now enhanced by a new dedicated memorial. This dedication ceremony is a time to set apart a particular place in order to honor and to memorialize those veterans who served our country in wartime and in peace. As you look at this memorial behind us, when we lift off the sheet, you'll find many different textures in it, including granite, steel, rock that surround us, concrete, and grass. Each of those textures offers its own particular components to the memorial. Granite, with its unyielding firmness and endurance. The steel anchors that hold it down represent steadfastness and strength. The reinforced concrete slab represents ruggedness, and the grass that adds a softness that tends to surround the power generating from this place. You also notice an American flag waving up in the wind over here. All those characteristics can be said of the American veteran. An unyielding firmness and endurance to the end of the mission. A firm strength and steadfastness. A ruggedness to finish the mission assigned. But along with all of that goes softness, like the grass. To realize that there are moments that command sympathy and sensitivity to a brother or sister who needs support when the battles get overwhelming. So there's closeness we can feel here at this sacred place. Whether you're related to somebody whose names are chiseled on these stones here, I think we can share a kinship of being American citizens all here together. We are surrounded by the spirits of those who have served this country and those who have sacrificed so much for freedom that we enjoy here today. We dedicate this site as a sacred place in Orting, Washington, where people will gather to take pictures, where veterans will gather to share their experiences with each other, or just to stand and sit alone to ponder thoughts they could never share with anyone else. Use this memorial in the future, my fellow veterans, for healing. We also dedicate this memorial to be a place where children will learn the lessons of freedom from their parents and grandparents. We will also dedicate this memorial as a place where those coming after us will recognize our desire to acknowledge those who have sacrificed so much for freedom, and they will be encouraged to place the same importance on this site as we do today. So on behalf of the more than 1.6 million members of the Veterans of Foreign Wars and its auxiliary, I'd like to extend congratulations to everyone who was involved to get this Medal of Honor memorial done at this hallowed ground. As a combat veteran and a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, I have a great deal of pride in what was accomplished here. Thank you for a job well done. God bless everybody here, and God bless the United States of America.
So now I have the distinct pleasure and honor to introduce Master Sergeant Earl Plumley, Medal of Honor recipient, and member of my alma mater, First Group.
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. The weather worked out for us. thank my wife for supporting me all these years, and then also this front row right here. These are all my neighbors from my community here. I think every time I've been gone, one of them has had to come over and fill my shoes, whether it be to catch our dog or put our hot water here in our house. So thank you. Start off talking about myself a little bit. I joined the Oklahoma National Guard in 1998. I later transferred to the United States Marine Corps, where I was serving in the infantry when the attack on September 11th occurred. I deployed continuously in support of the global war on terrorism to Afghanistan, Iraq, and Afghanistan. About halfway through my career, I decided to become a Green Beret, obviously. And on every deployment, every mission, and in every country I served in, I served with some of the best that our country has to offer. And I don't think I ever heard anybody tell me that they were there for the spectacular pay or the lovely time they were having. It never came up. All of them had deeper purposes, all tied in patriotism in their community. They were serving their country, doing what was asked of them, because the American people asked them to, and they had beliefs that it was worth it. I think one of the greatest things about serving as an American, no matter where I go or what I'm doing, I am the good guy. And not everybody gets to say that who serves in the professional arms, but we do. Which is so important that we honor these people around us who have fallen, and also who have given so much and earned the Medal of Honor on the battlefield. It definitely wasn't worth the pay. We as a people always have to provide a good example to our children, to our peers, and the other Americans around us, that we have to honor that service and respect it, because we're going to ask them to do it again. And if we can't honor those that went before, why would somebody ever want to go and do it in the future? So by paying respect to these men that have gone before us, and women, and these recipients who did astounding acts in the battlefield, what trust would somebody have that they should go in the future? So this is how we honor the service in the past and the service that will come in the future, by coming out here and paying our respects to the fallen. And I thank all of you for being here. Thank you.
You can always tell the guys who used to have to stand in formation when other people were speaking, because they like to make it short and sweet. So now, for those unfamiliar with it, this is called the tolling. Houghton. We're having technical difficulties. Try that again without the truck. Houghton. George Houghton. George L. Houghton.
Absent.
McHale. Alexander McHale. Alexander U. McHale.
Absent.
O'Connor. Albert O'Connor. Albert, no middle initial, O'Connor. Sickles. William Sickles. William H. Sickles. Absent. And now, Miss Susan Wolf, for any of you in SF and in the community who've known her. Her and Seamus used to do this for a lot of the ceremonies we went to. Will play Amazing Grace. Now, Pastor Powell for a closing prayer, and after that, Mr. Alf will play taps.
Let this memorial be a remembrance of all of those that have gone before, and those that stand here today, and the many that will come after, the lives that have been sacrificed, the effort that's been given. We just pray, Lord, that the generations that follow us will see this, and as has been shared, remember that others have served to protect the very freedoms that we take for granted so often. We ask for your blessing. Pray for your blessing on each one as this closes. We ask it in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you, Chris. Before we move over, I'd like to have those who I tapped who were going to do the unveiling. I'd like you all to know that this wasn't done through a lot of corporate sponsorship. This was from the everyday people out there donating to get this done. But I did have some help from the City Council, thanks to Miss Amy Kruger, to help get this project done. It's a lot of work. But again, you know, the thing is, I heard the cats pretty good, but I couldn't have done it without Susan on the bagpipes, Chris doing that, my pastor. Most precious to me is that Earl and his wife are making that here for it means a lot. For all those in the council, in the districts that helped, you know, I can't say thank you enough. Many times they probably just wanted to get me off of their air, but you know, I don't have that problem. So I want to thank everybody for coming out because, again, the only way they're remembered in our hearts is when we show up and we pay tribute. So if everybody will kind of move over to the front, and notice Dean was going to go ahead and do this unveiling. We're going to take a picture. Earl, would you please come up here as well, sir? It's better that you're in here and not my. You're going to crack a few cameras. Everybody grab a hold. Everybody ready out there?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Woo!
Served together, moved to Orting together, lived in the home together, and went to President Taft's funeral together, and got the Medal of Honor together. George Houghton was originally from Canada, served in the Illinois infantry, and he was well, first of all four of these great acts of heroism in the Civil War.
Can I have you guys in front, Josh, Andrew?
Three of them
Get like on the side of it. The one on the other side. Hey, Donald, can you get a picture of me, brother?
Follow me. Exemplify. Follow me.
Smile.
Battle spots.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so there'll be time. The bus will start running here in a little bit. Time for everybody to come up and get their picture taken with it. Please, that's what it's here for. It's here for the veterans. It's here for everybody. Thank you for coming.
Very nice. Thank you.
This concludes the live feed. I'll post it later to Facebook. Thank you for tuning in.